the Bills are going to have to address their quarterback situation this offseason. And they've been linked to a multitude of quarterbacks, whether it's in the draft or maybe even a little bit in free agency. We can dabble in a little bit of just that. And when you look at it all, some people think that Sean McDermott underappreciates Tyrod Taylor, even though before the 2017 season he was like, let's just have Tyrod Taylor be the starting quarterback. Obviously, he did bench him for Nathan Peterman, who sucks. But to put that in perspective, Tyrod Taylor isn't really that great of a quarterback. He's kind of this kind of specialist mobile quarterback. I like to call him poor man's Russell Wilson. Not exactly what you want. You don't really want a poor man of anything. But when it comes to this and all, I definitely think that they should move on from Tyrod Taylor. And Tyrod Taylor can find a home somewhere else, whether it's with the Browns. Obviously, that doesn't sound like a very likable home, but maybe even with the Broncos, where he can be, where John Elway is the GM, who also Hall of Fame quarterback. But anyway, they've been linked to multiple quarterbacks, and I like to look at quarterbacks in the draft specifically. They've been linked to Josh Rosen. Now, Josh Rosen is probably my favorite quarterback in this draft simply because I think he's going to be the best quarterback out of anyone that's going to come out in the 2018 draft. I just do. I just look at him. He has that potential. He has that unique kind of personality. I love the style of play. He feels like he's a complete quarterback. I really like him, and I don't blame the Bills. And the Bills are looking to trade up for him, and they might have the assets to do it. Now, obviously, they have 2 first-round picks this year, so they can obviously trade for where the Giants are, and then they can top it off with trading in Cordy Glenn, who there was rumored to trade by the trade deadline of this past season. So you can put that in, and it's a win for the Giants there too, because they technically already have a quarterback. I mean, they could also draft a quarterback later in the round and then make them sit behind Eli for a year and just see how it is. But obviously, they'll get more draft picks and they get an offensive lineman. And some of those draft picks they can convert into other offensive linemen if they really want to. I mean, it's not bad to draft offensive linemen in the first round. Not saying it's always a guarantee, but that's definitely a likable strategy. But anyway, back to the Bills, though. Josh Rosen would definitely, be interesting for the Bills. I mean, it would definitely make them compete consistently year in, year out. Now, obviously, if they draft Josh Rosen, I suggested them signing a veteran quarterback just to mentor him a little bit in the roses and whatnot, just simply because he plays in a UCLA offense, which is a very spread-oriented offense. Obviously, you have Chip Kelly there, and Chip Kelly didn't really run an authentic NFL playbook. So definitely put a veteran quarterback, maybe start ahead of them. But I definitely think Josh Rosen has some real star power right there, and I think he would fit them well. But obviously, the one thing about Josh Rosen is I think there's going to be a ton of people looking for him. I think the Denver Broncos, who have a high pick, are going to want him. I think the Arizona Cardinals are going to want him. I think even the Browns, to a certain degree, kind of want him. I think the Steelers kind of want him. Maybe even the Patriots want him. I don't know. I think Josh Rosen is a very, very, very cunning kind of quarterback in this draft. I think a lot of people are going to want to draft pick and all of that. And there's some other quarterbacks in this draft that are also quite interesting. I think Josh Allen would be an interesting pick, and I don't think they would have to trade any of their draft picks. He actually might fall to them at 21 and 22, wherever their draft picks are. And that would be really, really interesting if they had those if they draft Josh Allen. Because Josh Allen, to be honest, he kind of reminds me a little bit like a Joe Flacco when it comes to his style of play. If you like arm strength, I think he has the strongest arm coming out of this draft. And to be honest, the guy can freaking huck it all over the place. And he has a little bit of athleticism too. So ideally, you look at these wide receivers who are so used to having a mobile quarterback. Well, they'll get a guy with a little bit of mobility here and there. Now, does his scrambling, would it translate to the NFL? No, it's not. I mean, some of his scrambling is like absolutely ridiculous, and what his 40 times probably going to be, he's not going to be able to pull it off. He ain't an Andrew Luck. I'll keep that out there. He ain't an Andrew Luck. But his arm, though, I would say is probably better than Andrew Luck's, I would say. It's definitely a better arm. Now, I would say Andrew Luck is a better quarterback. If Andrew Luck is crazily enough gone on the trade deadline, everyone would be trying to go after Andrew Luck. However, though, I think he definitely has some good qualities, and I think he has some humility and some humbleness. Now, obviously, I think he might fall to them, but at the same time, though, they still might have to trade up because I think a team like Arizona would love to have Josh Allen or Josh Rosen. They're definitely hungry for a quarterback, especially for a young quarterback for a team that's rather old. So that would definitely be helpful for a team that's like middle of the pack and whatnot. And the one thing about Josh Allen that might be a little bit of a concern with the Bills is that the fact that he comes from a small town. I think the town he came from is 600 people. Comes from a small college. He goes to freaking Buffalo. Buffalo, not the biggest city in the world, but it's a hardcore fan base. And I'm not sure how much he can handle it. However, his nickname is Hollywood. I think his nickname's the reason he's used to being the star. I think he can handle criticism. And usually he seems like the guy when he gets criticized, he uses it as motivation. So maybe he might thrive in Buffalo and all of that. And when it comes to it, I definitely think that Allen definitely has some potential. I mean, if you do draft him, though, he is going to frustrate you a lot. Like, there's going to be times he's going to be scrambling all over the place. He's going to be slinging it downfield. I'm not even sure about his short passing game. I'm not even sure he even has a short passing game. And no, wide receiver screens do not count. And that's a little bit of a concern right there. Now, obviously, there's some other quarterbacks in the draft that they could get in the later draft, like Lamar Jackson. I mean, you might as well stick with Tyrod Taylor if you're going to draft Lamar Jackson, in my opinion. And then Baker Mayfield, I think he's just such a personality. I think Sean McDermott really got the locker room under control. And I think Allen, personality-wise, fits more of what McDermott wants to bring to the table and whatnot. And I think it's kind of true. Now, when it comes to drafting and whatnot, quarterback, they're probably going to have to trade up, but they got the assets, though. They traded Sammy Watkins away. They've also traded away one of their cornerbacks. I think Ronald Darby was one of the guy, and they got all these assets and picks for it. So they definitely got some room right there, just to, just move up in the draft safely because they got all these stockpile picks, which is really nice, and they made the playoffs too. So definitely got that momentum there. But for the Bills, though, it's so important to find a long-term solution at quarterback and a good long-term solution at quarterback because at least if you have a good quarterback, it builds consistency. Well, if you look at the Saints, before this season, they went 7-9 every single year. That's because they had Drew Brees, who's a future Hall of Famer. So obviously you've had that. Obviously, if you look at some of the best teams in the league, obviously they have quarterbacks, but the ones that consistently make the playoffs is because of the quarterback play. It's so freaking crucial. And when it comes to it all, they don't have to attack the draft to find the quarterback of their dreams, the savior of the franchise. Nick Foles, I think, would be a pretty affable choice, I would say. I think that his price tag is high. I heard reports just after the Super Bowl that if Alex Smith is worth a third-round pick and a cornerback, then you would look at Nick Foles as a 4th or 5th round draft pick. So you would trade a 4th or 5th rounder for Nick Foles. The Eagles are reportedly want 2 first-round picks for him. Now, settle down right here. And there's 2 reasons why, if you're listening to this, why Nick Foles can still be a Buffalo Bill. Well, first things first, they have 2 first-round picks in this draft. So obviously they can give those if they want Nick Foles. And second, usually the team talks very highly, like, 2 first-round picks. They negotiate down usually. They usually negotiate down. So it's more than possible that they can get to get Nick Foles right there. And when it comes to Foles and whatnot, I think one thing for sure about him is I definitely like it because they went after players that did well against the Patriots. Obviously, the Patriots have won the AFC East for like an eternity now. And they went after Kelvin Benjamin. Kelvin Benjamin always seems like he's having great games against the New England Patriots. Well, look at Nick Foles. Nick Foles won the Super Bowl MVP against the Patriots in the moment when it matters. It's pretty important right there. Maybe you want to go after Nick Foles, and I think they're kind of eyeballing that, kind of bringing these guys. And, I mean, what's wrong with going after players that have won Super Bowls? I think that definitely makes sense right there. And I think Foles would obviously, fit nicely it would definitely be a change in offense. I think one thing that slightly concerns me about Foles is I wonder if he's super reliant on Andy Reid's system because, or at least that kind of like these spread West Coast horizontal offense, where if he goes to Buffalo, which is a vertical offense, I'm not sure how well he can do. But he could throw to Alshon Jeffrey. I mean, if you can throw to Alshon Jeffrey, going from Kelvin Benjamin is a downgrade, but not too big of a downgrade. So I definitely think he can thrive into that style of offense, even though he usually does better in these like West Coast systems and whatnot. And also they run a lot of play action, which definitely helps with Foles. And to be honest, that run play option that really helped them during their Super Bowl run, I definitely think that you can run that with LaShawn McCoy. And also, even if even if LaShawn McCoy gets a little bit old, hey, years down the road, they might draft a running back who'd be pretty successful. And to be honest, the Bills, ever since O.J. Simpson, they've always been good with running backs. It seems like they always find a guy. They've had multiple Hall of Famers at the running back position. Simpson, you're talking about Thomas, I believe. I think that's his name, or Thomas Thurman or Thurman Thomas. I'm blanking on his name right now. The running back during the 90s. They've had Marshawn Lynch and all that. They know what a good running back is. So obviously you can have that right there. And obviously there's some other rumors that maybe AJ McCarron. Obviously he's one of the quarterbacks that just got released with free agency and whatnot. Some people really like his personality. Obviously he filed grievance against the Cincinnati Bengals, which is kind of funny. I think AJ McCarron would be an interesting one. He's kind of a little bit of a gamble, so you can't really put too much money in him. But he is cheap, though. He is pretty cheap. And all of that. What's them in the Kirk Cousins sweepstakes? I don't think they're even in the Kirk Cousins sweepstakes. Let's not even talk about the Kirk Cousins sweepstakes with them. And let's just say if they do draft a quarterback, maybe they might want to keep Tyrod Taylor for one more season and then part ways with him, just to give them some quarterback competition. Because I'm trying to make this video, or at least I try to, about how quarterback competition is really, really important, and how quarterback depth is really overlooked by many people. Everyone thinks, oh yeah, sure, you're going to have a great quarterback. Does everyone talk about quarterback depth, though? No, not really, and that's something I want to make a video on. I might make that sometime in a week or so, or maybe if some big news comes out. Obviously, I'm going to have to report it if it's on the NFL. But what do you guys think? Leave your comments down below. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.